Good morning, Walking Dead fans. El Stevo here. Hope you're all good out there. I'm very, very good myself. It's Tuesday morning. It's around 10:30 AM. It is a gloomy autumn day here in the UK, but that's okay because we're indoors in the warm anyway. Hope you're all good, like I said. Obviously, this morning's video is a review of episode 4 of season 7 of The Walking Dead, Service. Now, in this episode, Negan and the Saviours, we finally, after all our adventures, we get back to Alexandria. Negan and the Saviours rock up a few days early and decide to ransack Alexandria. Rick kind of plays the mediator role. We see a couple of instances where he tenses up. Negan gives him Lucille to hold for the day, which is quite an interesting little twist. But this episode was really drilling home the point that Rick is a broken man, he's subservient, like I said, there's a couple of moments where his hand tenses on Lucille and you think, yes, Rick's back. The amount of opportunities that he had to just swing for Negan's head, and once Negan drops, the Saviours drop too. I don't think that's what Rick and the Alexandrians realised just yet. I'm sure at some point when Dwight turns to the good side of the Force, as we will say, I'm sure that they will realise that if Negan drops, the Saviours drops. Because obviously we are Negan, I am Negan, all that bollocks. But for me, Negan is still, it's too much of a cartoon character. The nursery rhyme style doesn't really work. It's really I loved him at the start of the season but as it's gone on, I'm just finding him less and less of a threat. He doesn't seem threatening to me, even when he's threatening to kill Olivia. I think they might have over-egged the pudding with the first episode where he bashed Glenn and Abraham's head in. But now, I just don't think of him as... No, the amount of opportunities Rick had to just bash his head in with Lucille. And Rick's just like, oh, we've got to do what they say. Andrew Lincoln, really good acting, but we've got to do what they say, man. We've got to do what they say. And Michonne was about to give him the everything we got, we fought for talk, but he then told her about Laurie and Shane, Judith being Shane's potentially, and she kind of gave in. I'm not sure. The Rosita in this episode was really cool. She's badass. She looks like she's one for standing up to Negan. She looks like she's got a pistol now as well, what nobody else in Alexandria has. I really like Father Gabriel in this episode as well. when he walked up and scared the shit out of Negan, and Negan jumped and goes like, what the fuck? And he scared the shit out of me, Father Gabriel. I thought that was really cool. And Father Gabriel is kind of this weird ass bit part character that's just like always there. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can imagine him being one of your mates and you're out and it's just like you're having a chat and then you turn around and you just like you turn around and he's like you're right on your shoulder like what's happening, guys? Yeah, one of them kind of people. So yeah, he's really cool. But obviously they come, they take all the mattresses, and then obviously Michonne sees that they've burnt them. It's just the Walking Dead is treading water at the minute, don't you feel? I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I've seen a lot of people saying that they've given up on The Walking Dead and they've had enough. Now, I thought the first couple of episodes were absolutely fantastic. I liked the one with the Kingdom and Carol and Morgan, and I liked the first episode, obviously, even though it was a bit brutal. But the Cell and Service have it's just gone slowed right down, and we've so many characters that no one gives a shit about now. Spencer, do you really give a shit about? The only thing that people are rooting for with Spencer is that the fucking idiot dies because he's a dick. Nobody likes Spencer. Just get rid. I just miss Abraham, guys. I really do. He was my favourite character. I miss that boy so much. He was just brilliant. But anyway, carrying on. I just think they need to light a fire under this season. I thought this season, with the first 2 episodes, it was going to be, yeah, obviously we need filler episodes because they've got to fill out a quota of episodes. But The Walk is just dying a death at the moment, and they've renewed it for season 8, but obviously the way this season's going, the mid-season interval is going to be the Kingdom and Alexandria and the Hilltop teaming up. The second half of the season will be the war, all-out war, and then we go into season 8. And is season 8 going to be when the Whispers come along? It's really difficult, and I think Negan will be a more interesting character when he loses the war and becomes an ally of the Alexandrians, because I don't think they're going to kill Negan off. They don't in the comics, so I see absolutely, obviously the show and the comics kind of close together, but they don't kill Negan off in the comics, and he becomes like a wary ally against the Whispers, so that's coming in the show, obviously. But Negan at the moment is just not an interesting character. It's just too cartoony. You compare him to someone like the Governor, who was just fucking quality. Negan isn't the character on page doesn't really come through, if you know what I mean, to the character on screen. But we're only on episode 4, so there's still time. Service was a serviceable episode. I'm not going to give up on The Walking Dead, but it was such a plodding episode, and even the drama with the missing Tutu and the Bobcat, it was just nah. It really wasn't. I'd love to sit here and be hype about this, guys, like I'm with my other shows, like This Is Us, Westworld, and stuff like that, just killing it. And I know they're new shows, that's to be expected, and we're all getting a bit of season 7 fatigue, I think. But the way that The Walking Dead tells its stories, I'm not invested in any characters bar Rick. Daryl, when was the last time we were really invested in a Daryl storyline? Since Beth? I don't think we have been, really. Unless you're like a fucking Daryl fanboy, do you know what I mean? Even Rick at the minute, it's like you just want... Obviously you can't break Rick and then have him be back to badass Rick in the space of 2 episodes. I'm not saying that at all, guys. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying this should have been badass Rick and he should have lumped Negan, because that would have just made no sense and it would have left nowhere to go for the rest of the season, obviously. But it's just a bit plodding. It's all a bit plodding. I'm not feeling Dwight. I can't see him, obviously in the comics he hangs around for a long time. I can't see Dwight hanging around for a long time. He's just not a likeable guy. They're trying to make him out to be like this obviously he's bad, but they've foreshadowed he's going to be good, like Daryl at the start. But I can't see Dwight ever becoming a cult hero like Daryl. I just can't see it. It's just... The saviours, apart from Dwight and Negan, who gives a fuck about the saviours? Who are they? Do you know what I mean? It's like, even with our own group, apart from Rick and Carl and Michonne, I mean, there isn't Spencer. Who gives a fuck? Rosita, I'm starting to root for Rosita a little bit. Eugene, it's Eugene. I mean, who the fuck's Olivia? It's just... The Walking Dead has always been based on a group of core characters that you fucking root for, and you know one of them's going to die, or maybe 2 of them are going to die, but you just don't want any of them to die because they're all so fucking awesome. We just don't have that anymore in The Walking Dead, I don't think. But yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to stop talking about Walking Dead now, because that's my feelings. Service was a serviceable episode. It plodded. We got a feeling of the threat of Negan, he takes what he wants, the world's a different place, Rick's subservient, Rosita and Michonne want to fight. Obviously, next episode's going to be a Carol and Morgan one in the Kingdom, I would have thought. Are Carol and Morgan going to come back to the Alexandrians? How it's all going to tie together? It might even be a Maggie-centric episode with a Hilltop. But that's the way we're headed. That's it for now, guys. Walking Dead, The Service. Catch you tomorrow for This Is Us. Until then, this is El Stevo, over and out. Peace.